Hi guys, hi there, how are all of you? I hope you all are fine. Well, my name is Yusuf and I'm back on Yusuf Reacts. Well guys, today I'm back again with a very interesting movie review that is there for you people. Well, the movie review that I have for you guys as far as today is concerned is something that is literally amazing. When I use the word amazing, it clearly means this thing up that the movie that I'm going to be talking about is going to be something that's again going to be, igniting the field of imagination and creativity at the same time. The movie that we are going to talk about is what? The movie that we're going to be talking about as far as today is concerned is going to be that particular movie in which we guys are going to see what? In which we are going to see the concept of teleporting. Now, teleporting in itself is something that has been a great deal of fascination as far as humans are concerned. In simple words, the way humans can travel through time in seconds, or the things which help humans to travel from one place to another, is something that is really a very big phenomena that humans have always been crazy for. If I talk about this particular movie, before we start, let me name the movie up. The name of the movie is known as Jumper. Now, the name in itself is something that talks a lot about it. When we have a look at it and when we see basically what basically is going to be the thing when we talk about Jumper, the thing that makes it so extraordinarily good is what? The thing that makes it so exceptional and extraordinarily good is this thing up, that whenever we talk about this particular movie, we see a particular group of individuals, means there are few men who are there, young boys. Basically, they have the ability to teleport to that particular place where they can, eventually imagine, view and see, and they can be transported to that particular place. Over here, the story of the movie is really something which is quite interesting. If we have a look at that particular thing, we clearly see what? We clearly see a boy who has been abandoned by his mother at a very young age. He lives with his father, and there are things that are going on in his high school, and he's someone who is really fond of one particular girl, but there's a bully over there. Eventually, the thing which tends to happen is this: one day he gets stuck under ice and the frozen lake, because of the fact that he had brought a gift for that particular girl, and the bully eventually threw it. In order to catch that thing, he fell into the frozen lake, and from there he vanishes. The thing which tends to happen is this: everyone believes that he has died, but the thing is not real. He has not died. Instead, he teleported. And from that time onwards, we come to know this thing up, or he comes to know that he has the ability to teleport. Now, obviously, he does not know how to use his powers. So the thing which tends to happen is what? The thing which tends to happen is this: that with time he regains that particular thing and he wants to teleport, and he eventually plans and he goes for it, and there are a lot of different locations that he teleports himself and moves from one place to another and so on like that. So that is something which related to that teleporting system that's there. Now we see him after a few years, and after those particular few years, we see this thing up that he is someone who eventually now lives in a very nice kind of an apartment in New York, and he has got a huge amount of money that is there, which obviously he has stolen from banks and stuff, and he just has a lot of pictures regarding a lot of other things. So he just looks at it and he teleports, he looks and he teleports. But over here we come across another twist in the movie. The twist in the movie is this: that there is a particular individual who really wants to catch him. Now he's basically not an individual, but he's basically a particular team who are catching such kind of individuals who have these supernatural powers that are there. So they are on their way to catch such kinds of criminals, in other words, because of the fact that they want to get rid of them. The only statement that he always says before he kills any certain jumper, he says this thing to that particular individual, that these are the powers that are not meant for humans, they are meant for God. And that is something that he eventually does, and then he takes out his knife and he just stabs them in the heart and he kills all of them. Now this guy eventually on the other side is not someone who has done bad. He has not misused his power to a great extent. He only uses it for his own particular living. and that's it. But other than that, he has not done any kind of hideous crimes or stuff like that, nothing as such. So this is how the movie eventually, tends to go on and moves on with. The storyline is going quite cool and everything is bang on, but the thing which tends to now happen is that he eventually, comes a time that he realizes that he is now lonely, and that is the time when he decides to move on. To what he decides to move on, and he goes back to his particular hometown to get across that particular love interest, and he eventually finds her. The way or the day he finds her out, he eventually obviously really is fond of her from the start, and he just is mesmerized to see that girl. And after that particular thing, because of the fact he is really fond of her, eventually he just wants to be with her. He just stands and admires her first, then he eventually wants to talk to her, and he talks her. They both get into a discussion, and after that particular time, now he finds out that she lives alone in her own apartment. They just catch up, they exchange love, and eventually at the end of the day, he plans a trip with her, the city that she had always been fond of. She always wanted to go to Rome, and he takes her to Rome. First, she is unable to believe, because she like how wealthy he has become now, and he eventually now takes her along with that, and they go to Rome. At Rome, they are having a very good time that is there, but eventually the time when they reach the Colosseum, the thing that is there is this, that it's closed, it's not open for public, and that is something which is a concern. But he eventually gets away, and he gets her and him inside it. Inside the Colosseum, the thing which happens is that he comes across another individual like him. He's also a teleporter. He wants to talk to him, and in that conversation, the group of the people who wanted to kill these jumpers, they arrive, and he's almost caught, but somehow that other guy and he, both of them just escape, and the other guy kills one of them. Whereas on the other way around, one of the guards, the woman who was there in charge, she sees him, she accuses him of the murder and stuff like that. Now the thing that is there is that he eventually somehow gets the girl on the plane so that she can move away, and she's extremely shocked. She has no words, she has no answer to what the questions are, and eventually when she's back, she gets caught by the same team, and now they know that if they trap this girl, eventually the jumper who loves her, he's going to be back to save her. And that is what is the plot of the film. Now he has two choices. First, he can let that girl go. Second, he can go after it, and he can try his level best to save that girl, because they have a characteristic of this, that whoever is close one to these jumpers, if they are unable to catch the jumper, they kill that particular person. So he goes and for the saving the girl up, and eventually the thing which happens is this, that they eventually do tend to follow. The leader who is there, he is someone who is, the really tough guy, and he eventually, stabs him often, but he is unable to be successful in that regard. But at the end of it, we see this thing up, that he eventually makes him realize that every jumper is not bad. And he said to him that I am someone who is different, even though he gets an opportunity to kill him, but he does not kill him, and instead leaves him on the top of a particular mountain anywhere all over the world. So this is how the movie eventually moves along. If we talk a bit about it, it simply gives you that touch of imagination that humans have always been very fond of. That imagination is something that really was fascinating. It was quite interesting and intriguing at the same time. It was, in simple words, if I say it up, a very nice kind of a film that was there. And simple but nice, but a very nice story. And still, the element of teleporting was something that really made it even more good and awesome, in other words, if I say it. If you guys have liked my review, guys, I want you guys to please subscribe to the channel. You guys have to press the like button, and you have to share my videos as much as you guys can. So this is me, Yusuf, saying goodbye to you people. Thank you very much for your time, guys. Take care.